ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, mind, sensory and motor organs and the vital force become efficient and powerful. All is verily the Brahman, the absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. Let me never deny this truth. May this truth never reject me. May all the virtues needed to experience this truth in life be with me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel that I am a wave on the infinite existence, the ocean of infinite existence, which is luminous and blissful too. I am a wave on that. I and all other waves are pervaded by that one supreme existence itself. This ocean is in me, governs me. It is my reality. And the reality of everything that I perceive, experience, they all rise like myself. from the ocean. They grow according to what is designed into them by the ocean, and fall back in the ocean again. I am this ocean. In truth, rest of I is just appearance. Just name and form. Whom peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us begin today's discussion on this Svetasvatara Upanisad with our regular prayers. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishvavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we attain strength together. May our study make us illumined. May there be no dislike between us. So may our study make us illumined. Let us see that whatever we study, that gets into us and illumines us, like when the electricity goes into all these fixtures, they get illumined. So when this knowledge gets into us, it should illumine us. So this is the prayer for that, so that we be attentive to use this information to illumine us. So this is what this Upanishad and all our studies are about. That this Upanishad tells that this is a spiritual practice, means we have to change our life to feel the Lord in and around. That is the truth. It has been shown in previous chapters Now, this is the to get to more devotional feeling of getting centered in God. Be feeling that whatever we are as names, forms, our qualifications, our special achievements in life, all attainments, all that one associates with I and mine, all that identity has to be merged in our divine identity, in our divine connection. It is like Jesus would say, my Father in heaven. He associated, connected himself always with the divine reality. I come from that Father in the sense I am sourced there. So this is what we have to learn to feel. I am not sourced in this flesh. I am not sourced in some earthly parents. I am sourced in God. And being sourced in God, I am divine, filled with divine, one with divine. This needs to be felt. And this understanding develops through this what is called sadhana or spiritual practice. It is told that we can live our life in this manner, not the manner by which we get more and more into ignorance and bondage. So it is said that here are the two ways in which we can continue or go in life. Dve akshare brahma pare tvanante vidya vidye nihite yatra gudhe ksharam tvavidya amritam tvavidya ksharam tu avidya hi amritam tu vidya vidya vidye ishate yastu sonyaha. Ignorance leads to perishable, wisdom leads to immortality. Entirely different from these is He, the imperishable, the infinite, secret, supreme Brahman, in whom exists wisdom as well as ignorance, and who governs them both. That divine principle is above these two paths or these two ways, living in an ignorant way or in a way of wisdom. And we all have that faculty in us. Both of these tendencies that we can discern the way to live by wisdom, the way to live perpetuating the ignorance. It is, and when do we perpetuate the ignorance? When we run after sensual enjoyments. It is putting another bondage on us, forgetting our infinite nature, and thus this is the way one lives the life of ignorance. The other life is to keep feeling one's divine inheritance and see that everything is pulsating with that one divine and mold our life accordingly. It is, as we have discussed many times, it is a process. Means it gradually develops. It is not that it is 0 or 100%. Not that somebody is either fully worldly or fully spiritual. No, we all have both these elements in us. That is the meaning of being a sadhaka or a spiritual aspirant. And therefore, we all have problems with us ourselves. We stumble and all that. It is, yes, let me remind you of the incident that had happened when I was a novice. That one very senior Swami was asking me that how is my spiritual practice going on, that and all that. So I told, well, not at all going on well. The mind is so disturbed, and even now I commit so many follies and so many wrong thoughts keep on assailing me. All this is there, and so I don't know what am I doing. He said, well, if none of these were there in you, you were not committing any follies, you were not being assailed by all the thoughts, evil thoughts, if you were not getting attracted towards the world, then instead of Sri Ramakrishna's picture in the shrine, we would have kept your picture there. It is the meaning is that we all are journeying. Some is maybe a little ahead, some may be a little behind, and somebody maybe who is behind now may just overtake and go ahead. Who knows? It is all these things. This is a path, but we have to be conscientiously going in the right direction. It is the direction that is most important. In my very early days in this Ramakrishna order, this was what was emphasized in Swami Vivekananda's complete works and many of our Swamis, that it is the direction that is important. That you may be anywhere, like if you are at the, the lowest rung of the ladder, but if you are facing up, then you will keep on climbing. But you may be on the top and yet your direction is down, then you will come down. So it is the direction that is important rather than where your station right now is. So this is the two directions, two paths, and both are in Brahman. Both are its own. What Sri Ramakrishna used to call two expressions of Maya, the Vidya Maya and the Avidya Maya. The Avidya Maya is the one that keeps you binding more and more. No, that is that spiritual thing. That's not for us, It is. Let us enjoy. Let us all, It is. I feel that the life should be led to enjoy, grab more and more enjoyments from this world as long as we live. It is the life is uncertain and all that everybody knows. Nobody needs to tell us that. We know that. But as long as we are alive, we should try to grab more and more enjoyments. Isn't it, Richard? Well, yeah, that is how one thinks. This, what the spirituality after death, what happens and all. it is not really it is a pessimistic way of living life. One should be trying to make the best of this life by grabbing, say, more money, more name and fame, more enjoyments, and so forth. So, this is what is commonly thought by people, and thus they get more and more into bondage. There is the other side to this path is same road. The directions are different, that's all. So it is, if you go in the right direction, what happens? That you see that this worldly enjoyments, they bring just pain, they bind me more, they lead to frustrations, and after all, they are not real at all. So therefore, let me get out of it. Let me go to the truth. Let me go to that which is the ultimate source of satisfaction and bliss. So this ultimate, wherefrom we all come, wherein we live, wherein we dissolve, the ocean behind all these waves. Let me realize that. So now the life changes. And then as it changes, initially the change is painful because of the habit, that it is a painful change. So nothing, wonder that why am I not able to meditate, why I get headache when I meditate. All these questions, they are not unusual at all. It is initially, it requires a lot of mental effort to change the direction. Once you change it, then one can see that it is more and more joy comes in life. It is as the worldly appearance is left behind, the miseries are reduced, sufferings are reduced, and more and more joy seems to fill the interior of our consciousness. So this is how the two paths are shown here, that both are the one who governs them, the Akshara, that which never changes, that is called Akshara. That is the one that is ever present, and in which all this are there. So there is some technological problem, so that is making it vanish. The computer's IP address could not be contacted. What is computer's IP address? That is what happens in our spiritual life also, that we try, and then sometimes we feel that we are getting the feel of God. Sometimes in meditation we sit, but connection is not established. Some problem with the connectivity comes. So it is those who meditate regularly, they experience such things, that sometimes as you sit for meditation, the connection gets established quickly. Sometimes there is this connectivity is kind of low, and you do not feel that presence of the divine or your Ishtam, chosen ideal, in your heart, and then meditation becomes a drudgery. But still one should keep on persevering. This perseverance and gradually makes us see the truth. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that this is like two thorns. If a thorn has stuck in your heel, then what do? Then there is another thorn that you take and take out this thorn that has gone in, and then throw both the thorns. So this is like that Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya, the path of that leads to wisdom, a path that leads to further ignorance and bondage. So both these again are established in the Supreme, which is, different from them. The purpose of telling this is do not confuse. And the sages are telling, do not confuse that what you feel is the ultimate goal. Sometimes we feel, a spiritual aspirant feels, this is divine. You get a pseudo feeling of getting merged in God. Well, it is just a feeling that can help you to go ahead. But remember, this is not the goal. The goal is different from these. The means are to reach the goal, and then the means end there. So let us not confuse the means with the goal. So this thing does happen, that when we practice, then because the practice is bringing more calmness in us, more joy in us, we feel that's it. No, go further. Go further. All this will just stay far behind, and you reach that when you are gone, when you are dissolved, you are no longer there, then that is that. The source of everything, which is different than this, either going in the right direction or going in the wrong direction. The destination is different from both of these. So, pardon? Oh, what has happened? It is not moving? Okay, so if I do like this, you move, okay? So this governance of that, it is being described now. That although that is above and transcendental, it is not just transcendental, it is immanent, like the waves and ocean. Ocean is transcendent to waves, transcendent over waves, but is immanent also in all waves. So whatever appearances that we see, they are pervaded with that reality, that God. Here in Svetasvatara Upanisad, you always find they mention and less of Brahman and more of Isha or God, and therefore uses the pronouns as he. He. It is not used as in some Upanishads to show that its impersonal nature, it is used as that. But in Svetasvatara Upanishad, it is used as he. Means that the God which you can think of. So that God How is it? Yo yonim adhitishthtyeko vishvani rupani yonischa sarvaha rishim prasutam kapilam yastamagre jnanairvibhati jnanairvibhurtir च पश्येत्. Oh, jnanairvibharti jayamanam yapashyet. So, what happened? Now this is working. Okay. No, it is. He alone presides. It is easier to think psychologically that it's a being. It is as a psychological aid. That don't think it to be literally true. That it is someone that I can connect to. It is a common experience that when you call, and you get an automated message. When there's this, you have reached this thing. It is if you want to press this, if you want this to press 3, press 4, and it is so. There is no human being there, so you feel a bit, confused now. Where do I go for? So, if some person talks to you, then you feel what richer, more relieved. Hey, now I can talk. Like I can talk man to man, or say man to woman, whosoever it is, I can now express myself. So similarly, that is the our limitation. So therefore, our God also is like us, a human being. So it is God. So it has all the divine attributes, but it somehow, for our connection, has a human attribute too. It is human too. So listens to me. I can talk to that God. So if it is all pervading principle, Richard cannot talk with him. Richard cannot complain to him. It is but then if you have some being, then it is easy to connect that. So therefore that word is used. He alone presides over nature in all aspects. So it is like the governor. A person is there who is governing the state of, say, Rhode Island. It is a person. Not an abstract something, but a person who gets elected every 4 years and so forth. So it is, there is a person who does that, who presides over it, governs it. So this universe is presided over by that big governor. Every aspect of it, everything in it is controlled by that. How we move, where we go, what do we think, all our mental and physical activities, and that of each being. Each one of us is being controlled. It is, some of you might have read a famous novel, that is 1984. So, what is the author's name? Orwell, George Orwell. So, in that, it is, everybody is secretly governed in the whole state. Whatever everybody is doing, they were kept watch on by the big brother. There is the big brother and big brother's administration. So in every room, even in the bathrooms, there were that hidden what was called telescreens. That is a concept that is now it is there as such, but what it does is a double TV. Means you see it as TV, but that TV also sees you and it takes your pictures, whatever you are doing gets recorded, gets automatically sent to the big boss office, big brother's office. So you are always constantly, continuously under watch, every single being. So what an administration! See, and who is this big brother? At the almost end of the novel, there is a big philosophical discussion about who is this big brother. Nobody has seen Big Brother. Is there. Under its administration, everything is going on. But who knows? Who has seen that? Where does he live? Well, there is a palace that is shown. But has anybody ever seen Big Brother? He appears in some form, but it is only on TVs and all that he is coming up. Has anybody, is there really something like Big Brother? Nobody knows. So that is this governor, governing everything, every single creature. Every little thing is being minutely governed in every aspect. Whether a little fruit fly would be going to this fruit or that fruit, that also is all programmed, governed in this very big and very powerful administration that it is. He also presides over nature in all aspects and controls every form and every cause of production. He witnesses the birth of the firstborn seer of golden color and nourishes him with wisdom. The first one who was prepared, who was manufactured by him, and through that then everything else was made. This is the procedure shown, that how we do things, like we have to, we Indians, we make rotis like tortillas, so dough is made. In our kitchen there were about 400 people were to eat. Now the big dough, it is not so huge quantity. All that is made first. From that dough now you make small pieces, then roll them and bake them and so forth. So similarly, first before making all these, a big dough is made. That is called technically Hiranyagarbha. So that got made first and endowed that being with the proper intelligence and information of manifesting all. It is the dough then will do all the things, because it is not a regular our flour dough, but it is an intelligent dough. It is self-intelligent, and so it automatically makes into the further process is all made automatically. It would make all the little things from that other things, combine them, recombine them, all that is made then by through this big being. This is called Hiranyagarbha. So the Lord didn't want to exert too much, very efficient guy. So made this fellow, and said, okay, invested intelligence and all that in it, all information. Okay, now you go, come on. It is called sometimes Brahman. That not Brahman, Brahma, Brahma Deva or Brahma. So Brahma is the first created from Brahman. So, and then Brahma makes everything else. All creation is done by Brahma. So Brahma does it, but then it is credit goes to God, as it were God's universe. God made it. So there was a nice illustrative story to show that it is only under governance of God even Brahma works. Brahma has no independence. And so one Brahma became somewhat, depressed. That why, I do everything. Without me, nothing gets done. I am here to manufacture, to let them grow and dissolve them. All processes I do, and yet people say that this is the creation of God. What God is just sitting there, does nothing. I do everything. If I stop working, what that fellow is going to do? So this Brahma decided in that feeling of, became very much miffed, and in that miffed, silky condition, decided to resign from his job. It is a nice story. The stories have lot of meaning associated with them. Decides to resign the job and took the resignation letter to God. God, now I have become old. I have been working for many years now. Time to move on, I think. It is so I am giving this resignation. The God tried to persuade, oh, please continue, what is there? No hurry, you have been working well, continue. No, now my mind doesn't, feel happy about working here. Let me go, I will. So finally God said, okay, if you want to go, what can I do? And this Brahma then now came out from the God's palace, and as he was going back to his own home, he saw lot of old people rushing to the palace of God with lot of big files and all under their armpits. One after another, soon the line became very big, and he was curious. This Brahmadeva was curious and asked, hey, you all people, where are you going? It is, and you all look pretty old, but what is this rush? Where are you lining for? So they said, no, I am not going to tell. One of them told then, look, we just got the news that this existing Brahmadeva, existing Brahma has just resigned. So we are going to apply for that post, We all, they said, all of us were Brahmadevas who had resigned, getting miffed up, we resigned. And now we still have not found jobs. So now some Brahmadeva has resigned. So we are hopeful that we will get that position. That is why this line. Immediately this fellow rushed into the palace to God and said, oh God, I think since you said that I should continue, how can I disrespect your words? I am taking back my resignation. So, it is under the governance of God. God can manufacture as many Brahmadevas. If one doesn't work, there is the other one. It is that Swami Vivekananda said that out of dust, Sri Ramakrishna could manufacture thousands of Vivekananda. So it is our fortune, our good fortune, that he has chosen us to work. So it is, that is how we are all controlled by that divine, including this Brahmadeva. And then Brahmadeva continues this same process, makes everything as per plans. And then, see this next verse, very beautiful verses, that each of us then becomes a secondary, tertiary source of further creation, It is ekaika jalam bahudha vikurvan asmin kshetre samharati esha devah bhuya srishtva patayasthatheshah sarvadhipatyam kurute mahatma. All then secondary creation happens like this. Everybody has the creative power. Everybody then gives rise to different birds, progeny, or even may not be just physical genetic progeny, but maybe the artworks or some other things manufactured, or so many different mental waves that come. They are very creative. So this all, everybody is then creating according to the guidelines given from there. They do not transgress those directions. They go according to that. So differentiating each genus into its species and each species into its members, the Supreme Being withdraws them once more into their own ground, again bringing forth the agents of creation. The great Self holds sway over them all. This all big, everybody creates, but then all that creation also gets destroyed. That little creator also gets destroyed. It goes on. It is in every single speck of dust, there is this creative power of God there, because it is actually God. So all the qualities of God are there. So it also has that creative power. So it creates. So that is how you say, and according to the program. Nothing has much freedom into that. Whatever has been programmed, whatever has been put into it, the information, the knowledge that has been put into it, accordingly it will work. It is all like that. It is like our Charlie always has questions. Ask questions. He is pregnant with questions, you say. So all the questions come out of him. So that is how he is programmed, they get his, he has been programmed to create the questions. So the questions come out of him. So many others are sitting, they don't have so much propensity to ask questions. So it is but they have other propensities. They produce according to how that information is fed in them, how they are programmed. It is all but from that one source. If you go to that Slater mill, you will see inside so much machinery. There are two mills there. One is that Wilkinson's tool mill, and then another is the Slater's, the textile mill, close by in Pawtucket. So people go to see it. Now there is the water power is used, and that water power turns just one wheel. Now they each of those machines, they are connected with this wheel by a very complicated looking gear system. So when it is going there, the same power turns the loom, duk, 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 like this. Then there are some needles, they go up and down with the same power. Some turn like this, some have lateral movements like this, some have circular, that wheel movements. So all of that is connected, all motion is coming from that, and each of the parts does its job as per program, as it is fed into it. See, that is how this universe, you see, that it is, you can see here, that there is a seed. Now the seed has all this program. It will have to grow accordingly. It is whatever is in the seed, that will manifest when the proper situation presents. So the circumstances, when they are proper, well, that seed will gradually get germinated. From that a plant come. Now very characteristic plant will come from that it is, and in the seed form, in earlier forms it is difficult to recognize what it is. The seeds look similar. When they sprout, then some people can tell, oh, this is this, this is this. Those who, like we were looking to weed out all those plants which we don't want. But the question was, which is weed and which is the plant that we really want? So we decided to wait till they grow big, then we will be able to see what it is. Because we didn't have knowledge, so as they grow, now their hidden characteristics, they get revealed. So it grows. Now you see it gets a flower. Then it gets a fruit. And that fruit again leaves the seeds for the further creation of it. So this cycle goes on. So this is all that has been programmed into that seed. So this is how everything you can see is packed with so much of information, capabilities, all the skills are already there. According to that, it has to evolve. So this is how we have to see the presence of that God in us. That, well, that is inside me. Inside every seed, it is making the seed sprout by being inside it. That God is inside it in the form of that whole program of its growth. So each of us, this is a way to feel God's presence in us. That yes, I have that God in me, that is energy in me, that is all the capabilities I have, that is all given by God. It is all God and not I. And this is how the substitution has to be made gradually. Not I, but thou. You alone are there, O God. You are moving my hands, you are moving my speech, you are making my eyes see. All that, it is God's presence, God's work. So this is how one should change one's feelings. सर्वादिशः ऊर्ध्वमधश्च तिर्यक् प्रकाशयन् भ्राजते यद् प्रकाशयन् bhajate yad vanangan. What is it there? Yes, vanangan. Evam sadevo bhagavan varenyo yonisvabhavan adhitishtatyekah. So, it is all pervading, everywhere, all directions. It is that God is there, pervaded everywhere. So, it is just as the sun shines, lighting up all space above, below, and across, even so does that one adorable God, the repository of all goodness and greatness, preside over everything. So, that is the nature, that has the nature of a cause. Everything has as we saw, has a nature of the cause. It is effect, it comes from God and has the nature of cause in the sense that it produces further effects. So everything here is a cause as well as an effect, except God. God doesn't have any cause, is uncaused. So, therefore that is how we should see this divine. And this includes everything. It is the world of black hole. Now somebody had taken the picture, scientists had been able to take the picture of black hole, a photograph of black holes, that periphery. So it is, so what is that world? We have no idea how the world there is. Is there life there? Who says there is? We don't know what kind of life would be there. It is, but that also is manifestation of the same one being. It is it does not, no light escapes. It is so, the gravity is so intense that nothing can escape from there. So this is also that divine. You see, this is you can recognize, where is this scene? Times Square, yeah, Times Square. Now huge, big number of people and big number of buildings and all that. Now everything has, everybody there is in a different world. Do you see? See, you think each of these people are thinking in their own way. Nobody is thinking like somebody else. Everybody has a different world within. All these worlds are governed by that same one divine principle. There is nothing apart from that. That is, everybody, it enters and then becomes a creator there. There are the mental waves. See, no two people seem to be exactly alike in their mental get-up. They don't think alike. And yet all of them say that we think. Then why our thoughts, our conclusions our direction of life is different. Well, that is how we have been programmed. So each one thinks, but each one is in a different world. Imagine, each of us has different problems going on in our heads. That, well, how will to solve this issue? Oh, this is getting very difficult, and now I need to do this immediately. Everybody has different thoughts, different worlds, different connections. Imagine a huge, in this, people are all together in a small space, but yet each has a different world into their minds. So, it is in crowd, you can feel it in a big crowd. It is in local trains in Mumbai. They are so densely packed. You are in a capacity of say 50 seats. You have about 200 plus people packed in that. Everybody is hanging somewhere, holding the bar and so forth. And then you are touched by so many people, pressed by on all directions. Soon, you are holding your hand, and then I have experienced it, that I had only read about it, but then I experienced. You do not know which is your hand and which is the other person's hand. It is because as a whole mass you are kind of one, and yet each is different. So it is like that. So we shall continue this study, that it is all the God in each of us. And in each microbe, in each of the persons, again, the same God. It is programmed, that work is being done by that. Let us feel this presence. This feeling is very important. So, we shall try to discuss the next verse next Friday. Any questions about today's discussion? See, Charlie has to have a question, but let's Mrs. Chitnis ask first. It deludes means in the primal this creation, this is out of delusion. It is not real. So, getting knowledge is also a process that is happening in the delusion. It is not in reality. It is actually happening in delusion. There is actually no bondage, no freedom, because there never was a bondage. So the getting bound is also Maya. It is a delusion. And getting freed is also a delusion, because you were never bound. There is the story of Gorakhnath and Matsyendranath. In Nath Sampradaya, that story is very popular. Matsyendranath was the guru, but while going on a pilgrimage, he got entangled he entered a women's kingdom, and then these women wanted to break his continence, and then so he was being subjected, that okay, now let us see what can he do. So somehow the disciple Gorakshanath learnt about it, and he rushed there, fought with them, and rescued his guru and brought back. And then he thought, wow, that there is the guru came. He was very devoted to guru. But then a little ego came in him that, see, the Guru was getting just entangled into this Maya, so came back. So after coming, there were so many disciples in their ashrama, their monastery. He told them, this is what happened, that Guru was gone and brought. The others started looking at him in a queer way. What do you say? The Guru never left. So it was all Maya, Guru's going and getting entangled and getting rescued. All that is Maya. So I am Brahman. So thinking of myself as Yogatmananda is delusion, and then getting rid of this delusion, both are therefore delusional. Thank you. Yes, Charlie?
If there's Brahman and Brahma, where does Ishvara fit into this?
Ishvara, where does Ishvara fit in it? See, this Ishvara is personal God. The understanding of God, Ishvara is Brahman, as a person conceives it or thinks of it, that becomes Ishvara. So Ishvara and Brahman for all practical purposes are identical. And Brahman doesn't change at all. And there is no creation, maintenance and destruction in pure Brahman. It is Brahman as Ishvara does it. That is Ishvara. Brahma is the agent through which it is done.
Ishvara doesn't do it?
No. Yeah. Brahman and Ishvara are one. Yes, please.
There's a question. If a watch is nice if a watch has a nice design, it functions nicely. But similarly, if the universe or society is by design, we expect it to be functioning in an organized fashion, but it is chaotic. How can you explain that?
Well, that is organized actually. It is not chaotic. It is organized. But what happens is that when its organization does not get tallied with the organization of our brain, then we think that that is chaotic. Actually, it is not chaotic. It is a cosmos, not a chaos. It goes in a very organized way. But as the Bible says it very nicely, God's thoughts are not man's thoughts. So the organizing of God is not like the human way of organizing. Human way of how things are organized is they are very different. It is the God's ways are different. Human beings who do not know think, oh, what is this? It is because we think in one way. I remember quite a few years ago, one person had come here. She was working in the zoo in Providence, and then she said that today, I saw a birth of a giraffe. Giraffe was born, and she said the mother giraffe, now while standing, the birth process is while standing. The mother giraffe, and then the baby giraffe just falls down, dome, from that height. From that height, it falls on the hard ground, and that kick-starts the heart of the baby giraffe. So now a human organized mind will think, oh, the poor thing will fall down from such a height, will get injured. Let me put something soft there. Now that is going to be sure death for that baby giraffe, because unless it gets that big third shock, it will not live. See, so that organization is already made in giraffe. Human beings will think that it is something quite no, ununderstandable. It is, but that is how everything is well organized, including all what we see on earth, like various wars, these, that. It from a different perspective, it all has this meaning of educating us. So it is very well organized, not chaotic. It is that very organization comes to our brain in a limited way, and we start thinking we are very logical and we are rational, while we actually are not. It is in our behavior we hardly are rational. In our thinking, we go very rationally. When it comes to behavior, it is all irrational. So, there is all a very well planned cosmos, and the planning is much more evolved and intense than we can ever hope to understand by our brain. After all, our brain also has only a particular programming with which it works. It cannot understand the programming even of other creatures. What to speak of the programming of God? And so it is quite natural that you see, we feel many. I was heard this comment from one gentleman who was traveling with me. We saw those birds there, and these are migrating birds. They migrate at long distance. So this man commented, oh my goodness, all their life is just wasted in traveling. Now for that person it is a waste. It is because that is the way this person is thinking, nothing more than that. But that is not how the God will think. So it is different ways of understanding and organizing. It is all cosmos from a much higher perspective. Thank you. Yes, Abhijit.
Just follow up on what Charlie asked. Now, Brahman is basically pure consciousness, existence, immanent everywhere, right? Is there a universal consciousness, Ishvara, which is conscious of all everything? And are they same or are they different?
Ah, even when you are saying, that is the pure consciousness, that has become Ishwar, because that is your reading of it. Hmm. There is Ishwar, of course. If there is Brahman, there is Ishwar. If there is a person who thinks of God or thinks of Brahman, that is Ishwar. Well, yes. It is.
Like there's a Vedanta society, which I can think as an entity, but is there a supreme consciousness?
Yeah, this Vedanta society is also in your brain, you see. It is in your thinking. It is not that everybody sees that. It is your perception about this. It is Vedanta society.
So Ishwar is an artificial construct.
Everything is natural or depends on how you think of it. It is nothing is artificial. because your thinking process is also put in there by Ishvara. So Ishvara is your reading of Brahman.
That is what this is saying. All the first, second, third, fourth.
Yeah,
There is this
yeah.
Isha, which is overseeing everything.
Yeah, so that would be your way to think of it.
To call it Brahman or
Uh,
discovered.
well, it is, you can, they are interchangeable. They are interchangeable in this manner, in this particular context. They are interchangeable. That Ishvara and Brahman. And therefore, you will see that in Upanishads they are used in interchangeable way.
You said Ishwara doesn't do anything, but you say Ishwara creates our thoughts.
Without doing anything, it creates. Uh, Without doing anything, it creates. They give the analogy that it is without doing anything, the rope creates a snake on it. Mm. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. The yoga classes every Tuesday, they are going on, and so you are welcome to join. For some time they were not going on regularly, but now from last Tuesday they have restarted again. So please, if you want to, do come. And then you are aware of the upcoming spiritual retreat, day-long spiritual retreat. You can register for that. Thank you.